respectful view triggered the scuffles and the protests that you witnessed. The next question that had been asked by the Honorable Chief Justice and the Deputy Chief Justice is whether the Commission was dysfunctional and at what point did the Commission stop functioning as a corporate entity. The simple answer has been explained by my learned seniors, but the correct position is the Commission continued acting as a corporate entity, but it had serious corporate governance issues. And this is confirmed by the fact that they were able to deliver a general election, they were able to train presiding officers, so the Commission continued working as a corporate entity with the Secretariat and the team behind it, but they had serious corporate governance issues that have played out in the proceedings before this court. The third question that has been asked by the Chief Justice is what steps were taken, and this is you'll find in the replying affidavit of the Vice Chairperson of the Commission. As early as April, as my seniors have said, when these issues about deployment of the election managers and presiding officers was brought to their attention, came to the attention of the commissioners, the matter was dealt with at plenary. And they wrote to the chairperson objecting and raising those issues and all the other issues, my Lady Chief Justice, that arose in the management of the affairs were dealt at plenary. The only problems you would note in their replying affidavits is that it's only when the chairperson took unilateral decisions in the name of the Commission, that's where the problem was. And this is set out in paragraph 8 of the Deputy Vice Chairperson's replying affidavit. You'll have time to look at it. The third question, and this is a question that was not answered, was directed at the Iebc. I waited for that answer, it didn't come. I had posed it the other day. Why was the public display of results stopped? When you look at the replying affidavits of these four commissioners, all say the same thing. That public display was stopped by the chairperson, and they requested him to resume the display of the results, and he declined. What I was waiting for today was an answer from the chairperson as to why. That silence speaks volumes. The last question was the question that was asked by Justice, so that I can finish and give it to by Justice Smokin Wanjala, Supreme Court Judge. Why were the numbers important? The turnout. There's a simple answer to this. The voter identification is biometric, and where that fails, it's by the kit. So, my Lord, the Iebc has a constitutional duty to put in mechanisms to ensure there's no electoral malpractice. When you go back to 138.4 to determine who has won the election, the voters that were biometrically identified, the Kiems kits are configured so that they keep sending the information, which Mahat was trying to explain today. When the numbers come in from 34As, those numbers that are finally tabulated have to, because of the biometric voter identification, they must tally with the number of people who turned out to vote. So when you're looking at those, so when they give a percentage of the number of voters who voted, and you look at the tabulation in the final from 34C, those numbers have to merge, and they have to make sense, including the from 32As. That is why the turnout is critical. It gives transparency, and it helps to give credibility to the process. And that's why they have to tell the public, you have to know how many people are registered as voters, then you know the percentage of voter turnout, you calculate that, and then you can determine how many votes were cast, how many were rejected. All those numbers, when you compute them, they have to add up. When they don't, my lords, then there's a problem with that election. Thank you, and I think I will cede the ground to Senior Counsel to close it in the next 1 minute.
Very briefly, Honorable Chief Justice and members, Justice of the Supreme Court, on the issue of violence at Bomas and the impact and the character